Hello, hello. Yeah. So you know Hasan Piker, the self-proclaimed biggest leftist communist influencer. Well, in this video, I'm gonna explain how and why his narrative crumbled in the last couple of years. So his downfall started a couple of years ago, but to be honest, I think the public spotlight was really put on Hasan after the Kaya incident, where he allegedly shocked his dog using a shock collar. We all know the whole shit show. That alone pissed a lot of people off, and his response didn't help a bit, trying to change the narrative of what happened on a daily basis. First, he said that it was actually a vibration collar. Then, after being debunked by the company that makes the shock collar, he ended up at one point saying there was actually no collar. There is no spoon here. Yeah, anyway, in my opinion, after that incident, a lot of detractors and clipping channels were taken more seriously by the general population, and people started to put everything about him under a microscope. They quickly realized that he was indeed a performative socialist, like those who follow him basically already know. And it's not hard to reach that conclusion yourself if you look at his parents and what environment he grew up. And you'll see he comes from and was raised in a very wealthy family, his mother being a immobiliary agent, landlord basically, and his father the leader of a Turkish political party. So it runs in the family. He emigrated to the US and now is living in a, like every socialist in a $3 million mansion in LA. Yeah. Ironically, telling people to eat the rich, him and Pokimane and all the. Also, for a self proclaimed socialist or communist, whatever the feels to be called that day, he wears a lot of brand clothing, like, his favorite, Gucci. Yeah. Going down the rabbit hole, many people start looking into his past streams, and oh boy, they found what more than they asked for. Like from death threats to American politicians to saying that America deserved 9/11, classics. A truly gold mine of shit show, basically. People also remember when Hassan was with Ethan Klein, another streamer that is Jewish, but against Israel actions in Gaza. I mean, he doesn't support Israel. Long story short, his fan base, encouraged by him, sent the CPS, the Child Protective Services, to their house, telling the CPS that the kids are living in a filthy house. Mind you, Ethan is another streamer that's valued at a lot of millions of dollars. So, I mean, improbable. But they did that and told the CPS that they live in a hazardous environment. And after the CPS charade failed, the Rabbit fan base sent death threats to Ethan's wife because she was a secretary in the IDF. And you know that you're an Israeli born, you need to basically serve in the army. But she didn't have a combat role, she was just a secretary. So, yeah. And everything culminated when the fan base says that everyone in Israel is a valid military target, even the babies. Now imagine being someone who's not against or don't care about Israel or have at least two working brain cells. You would understand that saying babies are military targets is way past whatever point he was trying to make. And basically, yeah, people start looking at him as a joke, as a performative scammer, basically, doing performative politics for money, clicks. And on top of that, even if he had he had a lot of detractors calling him out, my man went to Cuba with some leftist organization, literally took out the city's power grid because they were staying in the only hotel that had available electricity. And of course, he started streaming, putting way more strain on the already fragile infrastructure. And he ended the shit show adventure in Cuba by throwing cookies at kids and making them dance. Yeah, kind of fucked up. So in my opinion, all these incidents going mainstream, his career is kind of over because now everybody from the Vice President of the United States to a random news anchor from Australia, literally on the other side of the planet, know about the animal abuse and basically mock him and call him out as a terrorist supporter. There are a lot more incidents that happen and I'm gonna rapid fire them now, like the fact he called the terrorist pirate Luffy from One Piece. The fact that he said publicly that his favorite flag is unironically a Hezbollah flag, a terrorist organization basically. The fact that he called for street violence against capitalists randomly. I mean, and I've just highlighted and explained the most important ones that, in my opinion, that led to this basically. And if my opinion, if anyone cares about it, I think that this guy should be taken down because he is, beside toxic, a very big narcissist. So he will never be able to truly change himself because he thinks he's perfect how he is, even though he has a very small head and wears shoulder pads as a male in 2026. Anyway, thanks for listening. to my short presentation about why Hasan's career is basically bleeding out and won't be around for much more time, or at least not in the current format. Bye bye.